fall over.
Alrighty. Our intro is 13 seconds. Happy Halloween!
Woo!
Almost. Like a day for... I'll do this one. Yeah. It'll be a day until Halloween. Or 2 days if you live in Canada.
Oh. Wait. How many days in October?
It's on the 31st of October. We're recording on the 29th. I'll do the post-production tomorrow, and then I'll put it out.
Oh.
But we have like one saved up podcast so that when she goes on vacation, I can give you guys a podcast when she's away. It'll just be kind of weird and dated. But that's okay.
Well, if you're not watching and you're listening, we have a really cool visitor with us today. He's kind of like a skeleton with skin, with horns coming out of his head and a open cheek. What do you call this guy?
I don't know. But he's very like demonic like looking. We also have a little sign that says haunted house, and we have chocolate. So if it gets a little ASMR in here with the chocolate. Happy Halloween! Woo! It's a very Canadian thing. To anybody who's listening from Canada, in Australia, they really do not celebrate Halloween. So.
I've never been trick-or-treating in my life. And I've never dressed up for Halloween or gone to a Halloween party or done anything like that.
Really?
So the fact that I'm like sitting here now, we're kind of like celebrating is kind of exciting.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yes.
It feels a little bit like Halloween. I don't have a costume, but I think this year I'm just gonna...
I'm going as a horse rider.
Okay, as an
Yeah.
equestrian, excellent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go as a Canadian. So
Wow, that's a really good idea.
on Halloween, I think I'm gonna dress up like I'm gonna wear like a Canada shirt and a Canada flag and
So
like
you look like a hockey goer.
yeah. Oh, my jersey. I have a hockey jersey. I might wear
Yeah.
my like Canucks jersey, and it'll look like, you know, on Australia Day where the really bogan people are like Australia, and they wear all their like Australia flag and like run around in their green and gold and like just have rat tails and drink slam and fucking
Thongs.
yeah, wear my thongs, you know, putting shit on the Barbie, whatever. It's like that, except we do it in Canada with red and white. It's the same thing.
What do you eat on Halloween?
Chocolate.
Other than like chocolate.
No,
Is that
it's
like
not like
a
that.
thing? No. Just candy.
Yeah, when you go to like Halloween parties and stuff, sometimes they have like food that looks like Jello with worms in it or whatever. Like you just make it gross. You
Oh my goodness.
make fingers that like witch finger cookies.
Have
and
you
things
ever
like that.
had poos and wees?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
Right. Do you know what a polywaffle is?
No, but
You know
that
what
also
pig-
sounds hilarious.
You know a picnic bar?
Yeah.
It looks like a picnic bar,
Okay.
but you put it in a cup of yellow jelly.
Okay.
So then it looks like poos in
In a
wee.
way. You could definitely do that for Halloween, for sure.
Good.
And like you put like fake eyeballs and things. And like maybe make pasta, spaghetti, and then put like eyeballs and weird
I'd
things.
make
in
like black spaghetti.
You could do that too.
Just because
But it looks like
gross.
brains. You want to make it look like
Oh.
brains.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's like lots of different things that you can make, but usually it's just a bunch of people drinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should have a Halloween party.
I asked him if he wanted to have a Halloween party this year, and he just went for like, do you want to clean that up? And I was like, not even remotely. Do I want to clean that up? Maybe next year.
Yeah, because like I know so many people that would be totally into it. Because there's just we don't do that.
No, I think Daniel would be down.
Yeah, totally.
Daniel would be down to have a Halloween party.
Isn't it like an excuse to wear some like
Skanky
outfit?
Absolutely.
Also,
But I wouldn't. I would probably go with something like scary. I like scary.
You know what was really funny? A friend of mine went to a party the other day to celebrate like the Spanish Dead or something. It was
Day
like,
of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he went there and everyone was dressed up. And messaged me and he's like, "There's a watermelon man here," and I was like. I laughed because I thought that was so cool because who dresses up as a watermelon? And then later he told me, you know what? It wasn't a watermelon. It was one of those orange things. I was like, you mean a pumpkin? He was like, yeah. So the whole whole night he was messaging me. He's like,
Cool. I honestly put the do not disturb on my phone, and it still just does whatever it wants. Tim, I'm recording now.
you have big muscles.
Ugh,
Like, you have massive muscles.
Welcome
Oh
to
my
the gun show.
You look like a you could be like a bodybuilder or a wrestler.
Watch my neck. It's
You know what's
freaky.
gross? When I lost all the weight,
All of us do that. Don't worry. It's like, have you ever seen what's that thing called?
you totally look like a chick that does, you know, the one-off weightlifting comps, like where they just do the bar and they go.
Oh, I did that the other day.
You're totally the right build for that.
Thank you. I did a deadlift, which is just up to your waist, not up top. I didn't snatch it. So
Yeah.
the deadlift is up to your waist, and then
Snatch. I always say snap. Bend and snap. And
Snatch.
bend and snap. Anyway, Halloween.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
A
back
guy
to the topic.
standing here.
Yes. What we should name him? Something devilish. No. Can't name him Fluffy because for the listeners, they don't even get to see, so he's got to have a really evil name. Maybe we can name him something like, Mango, bring that here. Come here. Bring it here. She's chewing literally behind the camera now. It's going to be ASMR. Dog chewing. Yeah, we should name him like Lucifer or Diablo or
Diablo.
but he's not really the devil. He's just like a demon.
Yeah, he's a demon.
Maybe I don't know.
What about just like Frank?
Okay, Frank works.
Like
I'm down with Frank.
Frank.
Frankenstein was the doctor. Frankenstein's monster was
Igor.
no. Igor was Frankenstein's assistant.
Oh God.
Man, this is what you get for not participating in Halloween. You guys don't get any of this lore. It's very important.
Who is Milton?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we thought for a Halloween themed podcast we would do scary things, a really broad term, but things that scare us, and it'll probably end up into horses at some point, but it's a spooky podcast.
Yes. And what? Can you do that again?
Spooky. Why? What?
So if we can like boomerang that or something, like,
Spook.
remix it.
Yeah.
We'll have a new song
Somebody's
coming
gonna-
out on the top charts next.
Yeah, it's gonna be a GIF at some point. Just me going like this. Yeah. So I kind of started before because I've been listening to some podcasts in the car as I'm driving around for work, and so a lot of them have been really spooky themed, and then one of them brought up skinwalkers.
Now explain, because when you said that, like I just kind of like it goes over my head. I'm kind of picturing like a zombie
It's not.
or a bug.
No. So a skinwalker, you're going to have to bust out your phone so I can like define it. But a skinwalker,
I'm busting it out. So do I just Google
skinwalker, and it'll come up in Wikipedia. It's quite...
Wikipedia, well, it has to be real. I mean...
No, but I mean, it's a Cherokee witch that is bad.
Cherokee is Indian. Oh, it looks like okay, everyone, it looks like a wolf that's standing upright and it has horns.
Yeah, because
like,
they can shapeshift, and then they try and lure you into the woods and shit. They're scary.
Okay, let me, like, okay, can we...
No, you gotta read.
Can anyone...
Wikipedia.
I just want to, like, show people... I don't know if people can see that, but
It's
it
like
looks
an
like
elk.
a German Shepherd wolf beast skeleton.
So
thing.
apparently they can only shapeshift into things if they have the pelt of the animal that they want to shapeshift into.
In Navajo culture, I don't know what Navajo is, a skinwalker...
Navajo.
Navajo. See, I told you I didn't know.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
A skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The term is not used for healers. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now look up, there's like a whole thread on Reddit about people experiencing skinwalkers, like in real life. Not.
So are we just like, okay, because like
I'm
I'm
going all
going to
the
be
way.
the devil's advocate here and just be like, okay, when people say this, because now this says that they can basically shapeshift into any animal. So does that mean like the minute you meet like a vicious animal, you can say, oh, it's a skinwalker?
No, because they're witches.
Okay, what's the test that defines them? How do you know that
Is it because they don't do it very accurately? Like as soon as you get close enough to them, you can tell that they're not the animal that they're supposed to be. Like it's not perfect.
Can you smell it?
Can you smell it? I don't know. I've never experienced a skinwalker. But I think, like, I'm pretty devoted to this. Like, I'm not a huge believer in a lot of science fiction-y type stuff.
Yeah.
But as someone who grew up around a lot of native burial grounds and things like that, there's just, like, there is, within a culture that old, there's a lot of stuff that you can't explain.
It says here that some can also steal the faces of different people and could appear as someone you know. If you accidentally lock eyes with a skinwalker, they can absorb themselves into your body and take control of your actions. Okay, tell me, how is this proved? Like, how would you know? Tell me.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
What makes you believe in this?
Other than, like, I'm not, for someone who doesn't
like
believe
witches
in...
or something.
Well, I mean, like, I believe that there are some, like, witch-ish type things.
When you say, okay, witch, like spells and stuff? Like, you believe
like,
in spells?
like voodoo-y type more.
Right.
Not like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay.
Not like I wiggle my nose and things happen.
Yeah.
Not people
Bit like
born with
cursing
innate
people
powers.
and stuff.
Yeah, I think that could be a little bit of a thing if you're really good at it.
As a learnt skill? Or
As a learnt skill.
born...
I think it's a learned skill. You know?
What about supernatural? Do you believe, like... I'll put it out there. I've got some relatives that are all into... They believe... I've forgotten the name. But they can...
Ghosts or...
talk to
ghosts.
past deceased
Okay.
people. Clairvoyance.
Okay.
That's the word. So a fair few of my family members are both just... I've got one that was a professional clairvoyant.
Okay.
And some others that are not, practicing, but they 100%, believe in all of that. Ever had an experience? Yes, I will have a Freddo frog. Thank you.
I'm going with the cherry ripe.
We have a bucket, of course, of chocolate because it's Halloween.
Also, these are only Australian chocolates. Except
Do you
mine.
know they have alcohol in them?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Don't ruin cherry ripe for me.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. But I heard that they do.
Mm. They're so good. No, it's just like soy and wheat, peanut, tree nuts. No, doesn't look like any alcohol.
Well, at least that's a food you don't have to have.
Yeah. So,
Okay. So skinwalkers scare the crap out of you now.
yeah, because I've learned about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think you were talking about clairvoyance. I'm so skeptical of people who try and sell me things like that.
Mm.
If they charge money, I am like, no, I am not on this boat. But if someone I trust comes up to me and says like, oh, I had this experience and I can't explain it, and it felt evil or it felt not of this world or whatever, like, I'll buy into it depending on how far.
Have you ever had an experience?
Me
Of
personally?
any kind?
Not that I can remember, but I remember my grandmother explaining an experience that she had. She was a very religious woman, very, very religious woman, and she explained an experience
What
that she
religion,
had.
sorry?
She's Irish Catholic.
Okay.
And she found a lot of like strength in her religion, which is great. Like, all power to you. If you're not wrecking other people's lives with it, awesome.
And you'll find that even if you don't buy into the whole religion thing, a lot of the time you go along and the actual essence of it is just peace or in a supportive environment. You go there and suddenly you have this family feel. You know? So there's a lot of positives in all religions, I believe.
I think there are some positives and also some great negatives, obviously, because there's a lot of negatives with extremism.
You just reminded me, sorry I have to say this, I worked in the city over the weekend.
Yeah.
And this is, I am not racist, I'm not prejudiced, I'm not anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know my history, we'll probably get into it on another podcast, but there is so much in this world we know already. Let me put it out there and bring up the whole Muslim thing. I got a lot of friends that are Muslim, so nothing against it at all. But they had massive festivals in the city, and there was police everywhere, and massive speakers and everything. And the amount of people that are just horrified now, like they comment on a suitcase, the amount of jokes that come out. Yeah. But honestly, the environment, there were thousands walking around the city with loudspeakers everywhere and everything, and because it's all over the news and you're bombarded by all this stuff about terrorism, they don't separate the fact that terrorism is its own thing. Yeah. They link it so closely with the religion instead of extremism. So you're in the city, and every time you pass them, I have to admit, I was a bit unsure, but I don't know where that came from, because I get the same way only when it comes to Catholicism. You know, I grew up with Catholics around me all the time. My dad's like that. He had bad experiences, but he was born Catholic. Yeah, so Catholic people oftentimes, very devout. Anybody who's extreme freaks me right out. Anybody who's extreme freaks me out. But that's neither here nor there. I guess that's something that's scary. Violent religious extremism. Yeah. Religious extremism scares me. So what I feel about the Navajo experience is different in the sense that I feel oftentimes with really ancient religions and ancient areas have a lot more spookiness. Oh, my grandmother, she told me about an experience that she had as a religious woman, and she wasn't really 100% sold yet. She was young, kind of a teenager, and she was laying in her bed, and she had kind of gone through an experience where it questioned her faith a little bit, and she started to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden she felt really warm, and she opened her eyes, and in front of her on the wall there was a gigantic cross in red with two side biddies. You know how the cross has one long one down the center, and it had two on the side. And she felt that the second line was herself. She had this feeling that it was her, and that she was part of the religion, not because it was a choice, but because it was actually part of who she was. And then from then on, she always really felt intertwined with her religion. And I found that really neat, having someone kind of express that to me, whether that's a paranormal experience or whatever. It's hard to know with those kinds of things. It's is it your brain? I think sometimes, you know how you have, when I was a kid, I used to have these reoccurring dreams, the exact same dream. I remember one, I was I don't know if I've made this part up, maybe. I used to call it the Superman dream. I would be in my bed, and my bed would just fly up really quickly, and then it would spin around in circles and drop, and just keep dropping. And it felt like the dream only went for 3 or 4 seconds. It was a very, very quick dream, but it took up the whole night, and then I'd wake up. And that was a reoccurring dream I used to have as a kid, all the time.
Interesting.
Don't know where it came from. It was the exact same dream. I had another one that I remember. It was, and my whole family was in it, and we'd start off by swimming in a lake in tube tires, and then we get called to like this ancient room that didn't have a roof with these big stone carvings, and there was this guy that stood up the front dressed in a costume, and we all had to play Simon Says. And the person that got it wrong got killed. And I was always the last one standing playing Simon Says. And that was another reoccurring dream I had at least once a week for a good 10 years. Like,
wild. That's crazy.
But
Did it scare you?
No.
Interesting. Did you ever have, like, nightmares?
I can't put my finger on any that I remember having, like, reoccurringly or anything like that. The nightmares I have as an adult, are, they're not nightmares like people chasing me and killing me.
Yeah.
They're often, like, I wake up and it'll be something about, like, my boyfriend's cheated on me or something like that. And I will lie there and I'm still crying, like you kind of like half asleep, and I'm stressing and I'm figuring out how I'm going to deal with this pain and everything. It takes me a good hour to refocus and say, oh, it was a dream.
Yeah.
Like I'm still awake, but it was so real to me that I have to like, you know, and I have to vent. Like I have to call and be like, hey, I just had this dream, and he has to like reassure me that didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah.
What about you?
When I was a kid, I almost exclusively had nightmares.
Wow.
Like from before I was kind of 24, I almost exclusively had nightmares.
Are you of the belief that dreams mean something?
I don't know if they mean something. Like, I understand that. So I went to university and I studied some psychology and stuff like that. And what the studies that I looked at and things like that really defined it as your brain being able to be better at whatever was going on. You know, so like if you went to bed playing a video game, you may go to bed, dream about something completely different, but when you come back to that video game, oftentimes you will be better at it because your brain is actually creating pathways to make you better at the task that you were challenged with.
What do they call it when people can like literally control their dreams?
Lucid dreaming. I've done that.
Yeah.
Like, it is the only time that I've ever been able to like control a dream because I was having these recurring nightmares like continuously, and then I turned into a teenager. And a friend of mine who used to take way too many hallucinogens was like, you should try lucid dreaming, you'll be able to control your dreams, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay. So I did a lot of study and tried and eventually succeeded in lucid dreaming, but it did not change my dreams from, like, they would all start out fine, I'm flying, or I'm doing something, I'm like, cool, I got this. They'd still end in a way that was horrific. Like, there was just no way that I could control the dream.
Because often they say, like, because it's like an unconscious thing, that it's subconsciously trying to deal with stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think that's relative to you? Perhaps you were going through things and they were like your brain unconsciously trying to figure things out?
Process different things and trying to work it out. Maybe that's like my brain was just like, these are terrible things. Sort your life out. I don't know. But obviously it builds pathways for you to be better at whatever challenges you have during the day. I don't know. It's weird. What things really scare you though? Like
cheating.
Oh, like people cheating on you.
Yep. Like
scares you.
Yep. Like to the point like that will just the slightest thought of it can ruin a week for me.
Wow.
Even people I don't care about. Like the unknown scares me. I have big anxiety issues, so like not knowing something is enough to like scare me. Like.
But do you have any fears like needles or spiders or not just emotional fears?
Yes.
Wow.
Like, I'm rock solid. I will, like, someone's like, oh my god, there's a spider, and I'll be scared, but I'm so, like, super, I'm gonna prove myself, like, I'm not scared, I'm tough, and I'll just do it just to kind of prove myself, but everything, like, emotional, can't do.
Wow. Like, I'm also scared of, this sounds obvious, but, like, I'm scared of serial killers. Like, I'm actually scared of serial killers in the sense that, I guess in the same way that you're scared of the unknown, that they just don't have, like, a method that they
That's not true.
choose
Serial killers do have methods.
yeah, but sometimes they just, like, pick whoever they want. You know? It's not like, oh, I put myself...
you have to hurt them for them to do something.
So it's not like I put myself in a dangerous situation.
Okay, explain to me how this is a real fear to you, though, like, on, like, a daily.
But it's not a fear on the daily. It's only when I think about it, obviously. But, I mean, I could be just walking in the grocery store, and if somebody, like, walks past me, and they look kind of, like, sad, I, like, smile at them, and I smell them. You smell like a serial killer.
By the way, we have discussed that she has this intuition where she smells things.
It's not
on people.
I would think it's an intuition.
It's a taste. Sorry.
It's like a pheromone thing.
Yeah.
It's different. Like when people have their period and stuff. It's different. But I think that's on the podcast, not this one or the last one or the one before. I think it's on the one that I'm saving for when you're on vacation.
Okay. We'll discuss that later.
You'll probably hear about that later. But yeah, like what if I smile at them because I smile at everybody, and then they, like, in their head they change that, and then, like, it changes. Or what if I don't smile at them and then they want to kill me? Like, what if they just choose to kill me? I don't want to die. I don't know, serial killers scare me. Serial killers scare me, and skinwalkers scare me. And yeah,
that's it.
No, lots of things scare me. I'm a big baby. But
I know. Okay, what about things that you have, like things that scare you, like, because of past experience? So both of us have had some pretty traumatic things happen in our lives.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm only going to bring this up because I know, and you've told me before, you have, like, it's even something takes over your body. With the jumping, you're like, you freeze, and it's not something you can handle, but that's because you had a bad fall.
Yeah. And, like, not going on the topic of, like, freezing is a real one. And it kind of digresses, obviously. Train rail.
We don't digress.
Never. The dreaming thing. Have you ever had one of those dreams where you wake up and you can't move?
No, what's that called? And they get stuck.
Nightmare... Sleep paralysis.
That's it.
Yeah. I've only had that once, but it was, like, terrifying.
I have a friend that has that happen to her a lot.
Oh, yeah. That would be so... That breaks my heart.
I don't know how scared I would be. Like...
That breaks my heart.
It depends what actually... Like, you're awake, you just can't move.
Yeah. It only happened to me for a little bit. I was quiet, too. Talk. And then I was okay.
Is anything scary happening in your head while it's happening?
Yeah, I can't move and I can't talk.
And that's it.
Yes, that usually is the thing that scares me. Yes.
No, I was thinking, like, maybe, like, something, like, if you were
Something's
still...
gonna get me.
Yeah. And then you can't move, that would be even scarier.
Yeah. That happens to me in dreams where I can't move or I can't yell for help. And somebody's trying to get me.
The psychologist in me just wants to, like, totally...
Go for it.
Through that.
Go for it, bro.
That could be like that's what I was saying before about how dreaming could be a way of, like, sorting through stuff. Like, maybe the fact that you couldn't move, it's like you screaming for, like, needing the help but not able to find it.
Yeah. It's I don't know, there's a lot of baggage that goes along with and sleep paralysis and sleep, really trying to kind of sort through your dreams and stuff. I thought about it for a long time where I go, And some of my dreams would start out pretty good and then just turn to shit. Like I'd fly, or, you know, like I'd meet cool people or whatever.
Fly and go splat?
No, people would chase me. It's always people chasing me, for the most part. People trying to get me.
I'd love, oh, in a bad way.
Yeah, like they want to kill me. Or they want to kill my family. Or they want to kill, like,
And you never sit down and go, where is this coming from?
No. But maybe that's why I'm so scared of serial killers, because I'm like, everybody's gonna kill me. Also, I watched a lot of serial killer stuff when I was young. I was into that. I still am.
See, that's the other thing. Like, I love a good, like, scary movie, but for me, the only scary movie is, like, kind of suspensey, like, what do they call them? Like, jump scares, kind of.
Oh,
I
like,
think that's what they
but
call
not
them.
gory ones?
No, that completely, like, I zone out. It ruins the whole thing for me. The minute someone gets a chainsaw or I see someone, like, cut and it's, like, right in your face,
Yeah.
I lose any fear that I had.
Oh. Do you ever play video games with jump scares? That's a big thing, too.
No.
Ooh, there's a lot of...
I get lost in video games.
Me too.
3-dimensional, can't do it. My sense of direction is so bad that I just, like... I remember when I was younger, I begged for a Nintendo. I wanted the Mario that runs across the screen, like the old-fashioned, like, 2D one. And my dad thought he was being really good and went out and bought a 64, and I hated it.
Yeah, because it's like multifaceted.
It was 3D, and I can't
Figure
work out where I am. So
it's funny because I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. Sometimes I do still, but not a whole ton anymore because I don't have time. But I used to play like a lot of World of Warcraft for years and years and years. And any of my friends, I'm probably going to tag them in the post of this. Because any of my friends that played World of Warcraft with me know that I'm like, ooh, shiny flower. Ooh, where'd my friends go? Ooh, I'm lost. And I was always a person that you needed. You know, so I would be the healer of our group. And everybody's like fighting shit. And I'm like, ooh, there's a bunny. And then I'm like, oh crap, you guys are dead, sorry. I'm like not even in combat yet, you know, like I'm like way over there, and people would be trying to jump through things, and I'm like, I can't do this, guys, and they're like, just wait, and we'll like teleport you up here.
I just thought of something.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm scared of the future, legitimately.
Oh, like the uncertainty of it. Yeah.
Like on a daily. Without, like, I'm scared that where I am now is not okay, and there's no way to recover that.
That is truly the spookiest thing you could have said. Spooky! I am terrified of the future. Like, honestly, so terrifying. As a whole, like, truly terrifying.
It's more, like, now that I said that, I'm just gonna get worse. Because there's legit, like, even if tomorrow is really good, I will work myself up because I can't change yesterday.
Really?
Like, I can't change the fact that I'm 30 and where I am now. Even if the rest of it goes in the right direction, I'm still 10 years behind what I thought I would be.
But why don't you just, like, enjoy right now? That sounds like such a... Well, hey, Mango, you should have not come into my space then. Dude. She gets mad at me.
We should have like okay, what's something else you're scared of with, okay, family?
Okay, I'm scared. Family? I don't know. I'm not scared of my family.
Nothing? Your own family, having kids.
I'm not ever gonna have kids, so that's cool.
Okay.
Like I'm not afraid of anything like that.
Biggest fear in horses.
Get it. Jumping. Yeah, just straight up. Drop it. What's your biggest fear in your family? Family.
Judgment.
Oh, like your family's gonna judge you?
Yep.
But you're rad.
just like I feel like disappointment like all the time. So
Why?
like I don't know. I just always have. So like yeah.
What do you? Why do you like? I think you're rad.
Thank you.
Why do you think you're disappointing?
Oh no, it could be like anything. It's like if someone asks me to do something, I find it very and I can't for some reason. I will be scared to say no.
Right. Ew.
Did
was-
everyone hear that? She just like
Ew.
cracked her neck.
I didn't mean to crack. Well, I kind of did. I was just trying to stretch it, and then I went spooky. So yeah, what's your biggest riding fear?
Cross country.
Whose isn't?
Actually, you know, like I had a bad couple days the other day. Well, a little while ago.
You know they look like Mango's nipples. Those little things on his chin.
That makes me feel better because
Fred.
right now that I was thinking they were kind of like big, knobbly warts.
Yeah.
We're talking about Frank, our little
Frank.
skeleton friend.
He's got chin things, and they look like Mango's nipples. It's very odd. Whatever.
He
so
has
cross country.
something that looks rather rude in the middle of his forehead.
He sure
Looks
does.
like
There's a word for it. It's called yonic. You know how things are phallic when they look like men genitals? When they look like lady genitals, it's called yonic.
okay.
Fun fact. It looks very
That
yonic.
could have been a name for him.
Yonic.
Yannick.
Great name.
Gone from Frank to Yannick.
Okay, so what's your next fear question?
Oh no, I was gonna say like I had a bad run. Like I had one day I just touched on a horse and it did a buck and a rear and another buck and I came off and it was like the first time in years that I'd come off.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 days later I got on another horse and it reared and fell backwards and squashed me against the fence. So having those things happen put this distinct fear into me that a horse was going to rear every time I got on it. And I really noticed how much it affected me for about a week.
Yeah.
Like, it really affected me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it messes with
it
your head.
actually caused problems because I realized that because of my anxiety toward that, I was maybe a little apprehensive on not pushing through things or not pushing a right button or pushing a different button because I was scared of pushing another button.
Yeah.
And so it potentially could have caused something worse.
Yeah.
So how badly do you think fear affects our lives then?
Oh, hugely. Hugely. I think fear is a gigantic part of our life. So, for anybody who doesn't know, I suffered from anxiety really badly after I stopped drinking. And then it increasingly got worse. And
Did you drink to help with anxiety?
I think looking back on it now, yes. But I don't think that was part of... I think alcoholism is its own topic as well. But whatever. So no matter how much I exercised, ate well, slept enough, had a routine, did all of the things, you know, and talked myself, made sure that I was going through all of the different stages. Every time I got anxious, I went through everything and like talked myself down. It never worked. And then it increasingly got worse to the point where I was having panic attacks in the grocery store and had to leave my shopping trolley with Tim and I just had to leave. Like I couldn't. And that day in particular, thank you, I'll take that as well. That day in particular, Tim and I decided, okay, maybe we should go to the doctor and talk to him about it. And he said, yeah, it sounds like you're doing all the right things and maybe you should try some medication. I was like really apprehensive about it and I had taken medication before for ADHD and it didn't work out well for me. And then I started taking the medication. He was like, just take as little as you want and, you know, we can work it out from there. And I found a lot of the absolutely irrational part of my anxiety was gone. And I still felt anxious sometimes in reasonable situations, but I could use the tools that I had been trying to use forever to talk myself down.
Slowed it down a little bit
Enough for me to rein it in, and then I found when I wasn't as afraid, it changed who I was a little bit, not like who I am, but who I was in regards to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always so terrified of what people thought of me, or if they were serial killers, or whatever.
Could I have like a tendency
to kill people?
Mm.
I don't know. Could you? Do you want to kill people? You want to kill me? Don't kill me.
I just wondered if I planted the seed, if you would start like.
No.
No.
You're gonna
I
sleep in
don't
my
give
house.
off that like serial killer.
I don't smell it.
vibe.
No, I don't know what a serial killer vibe is. I've never met one. That's
Well,
also terrifying.
Well, the thing is, like, I think if you do meet one, you probably weren't lived to tell the story. So.
No. Well, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Back at it. So, like, I was at the gas station, and I was pumping gas. Here, we call it petrol. I was pumping diesel into my diesel vehicle, and
Wait, they still call diesel gas?
yeah, we call everything gas.
So how do you know what you have? Like, if someone's like, hey, put gas in my car, and you're like, okay, and it's diesel, how would you know?
You would know because the car's diesel. Just like here, when you say petrol. Can you put petrol in a car?
Yeah, because we would go put, like, unleaded. But if someone, you would say gas, petrol, or diesel.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you call it a petrol station even though it provides all three of those services.
Yeah.
We call it a gas station even though it provides two of those services because nothing actually runs on gas in Canada.
Really?
Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
neither here nor there. Again, I'm pumping the diesel into my car. I'm holding my phone in my hand, not using it. The lady shuts off my pump. Normally, I would be pumping my diesel, and that would make me horrendously anxious because I would feel guilt, and I would feel like that woman was mad at me, and all of this stuff. I would feel like, oh crap, I just broke the rules. Like I would get anxious. But I didn't go to Anxiety Town. I went all the way to Anger Town. And I was like, let's skip over Anxiety Town. I'm all the way here. Lady, I wasn't using my phone. And I was like fully mad. And I just went Canadian mad on her. I went up and I looked at my pump. I got out of my wallet exactly what it was. And I put it on the counter and I said, thank you. And then I walked away. I was like, I am Canadian mad.
Canadian mad.
Thank you. Leave. Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty funny. I have all of your toys and you don't get anything because you just chew on them. And then it makes the whole podcast about you chewing on your toys.
Menu.
Yeah, so that's, something that's, I guess, fear. When you take fear out of the equation for me, I just went all the way to Anger Town. And I found a way to kind of sort through that. I don't know if I would be, like, if there was a home invasion, I don't know where I would sit. Would I go to, like, Save Me, Tim? Or would I go to, like, Gun Show? Or, like, what would I do?
I think I would totally. I'm trying to think.
Have you ever had a circumstance like that where somebody's walked into your house?
No, but I was just trying to, like, I've been in a situation, in a bad situation for a long period of time, and I went completely submissive. So I was trying, I just thought about that then. I was like, what would I do? And I would like to think that I would do the whole kill the spider thing and just be like, get my hero, like, because I have a hero complex as well. Like, I worked for St. John's Ambulance for a while and did a fair bit there, and I never thought twice about, CPR and all of that. Like, I was totally on it.
Yeah.
And I thought I was it a bit,
Yeah.
So when I think about someone, like, breaking in, I'm trying to think, what would I do? Would I go into that, like, superhero mode? Like, or would I completely crumble and play dead on the floor?
I don't know. Like, my mom and I had someone break into our house and steal our computer when computers were, like, the new thing. When do you remember MSN?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Yahoo Chat.
And Yahoo Chat. And like, like there's a lot of MSN sounds that totally are super. Ooh.
The dial-up tone. The dial-up.
Like that stuff. Oh, can you like Google the MSN chat sounds? Because I feel like that is a radio show sound.
Right
You get so many feels. Yeah, so they broke into our house and stole our computer. And I remember feeling really unsafe for a while in the fact that like our house was broken into. And it definitely didn't make me feel like a warrior. It made me feel like totally exposed. Just totally exposed. What?
I typed in MSN sounds. It came up with man sounds.
What? You need to hand me your phone, lady. I don't think you're using it right. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, yes. Give me all of this. Everything. Oh my gosh. Those sounds are so like... I don't know.
That's another thing, like a legit telephone.
Yeah.
No one has that. Well, some people do. But I was gonna be like, remember when the phone used to ring? Like you had a phone plugged into the wall. Now you don't even have that. Like you've got them
on your
cordless.
Body all the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember the rotaries?
Yeah. We never had one.
Oh, my friend
was
had one
born
at her
like-
house.
Yeah, I think
We were born the same year, girl.
I think it's I think I used one. I struggled a bit.
Yeah, rotary phones? Man. I can't even... Kids these days get to use tablets and stuff at school. That blows my mind.
So, my nephew has autism, and a huge part of like treatments and everything is all about like all the programs that you can get them on iPads. And so the government like has all these big initiatives to fund buying iPads with all these crazy programs to help with like learning or help with communication and all kinds of stuff.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
wild. Like, I just couldn't even imagine that that's like a thing. Do you remember going to school and they had the original Mac computers? No, did you not go to school with like the original Macs? They were like gray and they had like the rainbow apple symbol on them. And we used to have them at school. And we would play SimCity all the time on them.
I remember having to do IT in school, and they were just really old computers.
Oh, I got like stuff on my pants. Yeah. So what other spooky... So other than paranormal, have you had a paranormal experience?
No.
No.
And I'm the only one in my family that hasn't.
Interesting. Do you like buy into the rest of your family's experiences?
Some of them are nice to think of, you know, like I was really close with my my grandfather, and my sister said that she'd seen him. Somebody else said, you know, in a reading that she had done, that he was her kind of guide, and I was jealous.
Aww.
But I've wanted to. You know what I've really wanted to do, even if I don't, because I'm pretty skeptical of most things. But I've really wanted to do a past life regression. Just
Interesting.
Just to do it, like not because I'm like once I hear it, like I have a friend that goes and sees a clairvoyant all the time. Her name's Claire, by the way. But she'll live her life by this. Like she goes to get advice,
Really?
and she lives her life by it. Like
Wow.
100% whatever they say. But yeah, past life regression. So my sister and her husband had one done, and they 100% are all on board with that whole thing. Believe that the stories completely make sense about different lives that they had.
Wow.
They were in it together in every single one, apparently. And it explained reasons why they have certain fears
Interesting.
today. So that's why they did it, because people believe that, maybe in a past life they had a certain experience which now leaves them with this personality trait now.
Right. Do you feel like, do you buy into that as well, or no?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty skeptical of most things. Like, I go to a doctor and he tells me something and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. So
Right.
I just think it would be interesting to see what they come up with, whether it's a story or not.
I'd be down, because I'm also very skeptical of, like, when people take my money. Always very skeptical.
Yeah.
So I just Googled some stories because I wanted to see if one of them would come up, the one that scared me the most.
Skinwalkers?
Yes! Because I'm on the Skinwalker train.
My nose is so itchy.
Right
I
now.
apologize for everyone that is watching, but my face is really itchy.
It's probably because you're taking all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm really noticing.
Okay. This is not the one I wanted, I don't think. Hold on. I'm trying to find the one that I wanted. I'll just read the first one, because I think I remember it, but it was freaky deaky. Okay. Anybody that's been to the Navajo reservation has probably heard some creepy things or had experienced creepy things, namely skinwalkers. I have only seen one. Here's my story. So, like, there's a lot of reservations around where I... okay, drunkie. Around where I kind of grew up. And also there's a lot of, like, old grave burial sites and stuff like that. My mom... worked on one as a archaeological field assistant.
Wow. What a title!
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And she went to the same uni as me and, like, did it at the same time I was there. It was very cool.
Oh.
And they saged her afterwards at our university. They, like, did a saging and stuff like that to, like, make sure that they weren't taking anything out of the grounds with them and stuff. It was really neat. Mom said it was a really great experience. So there's a lot of culture there that's really cool. I come from a small town in northern Arizona that's sandwiched between the Petui Reservation to the north and the U.S.'s largest Navajo reservation to the south. My high school being so small that A1 high school that has on average 80 students enrolled every year. B, always had to travel south about 5 to 10 hours. This is weird setup. 5 to 10 hours one way to play together at a high school any sport. This means that we traveled a lot on the Navajo reservation. And we usually stayed at hotels where we would head out to play and come home in the morning. But this trip was a little bit different. I remember the basketball coach saying that the school didn't have enough money to put up the teams in a hotel that trip, so we were going to be on the road for a total of 12 hours. I was the only male senior to play basketball that season. We had just got done playing our game and headed home on our bus. This was Big Blue, in quotations. We were headed out, and it wasn't long, about 2 hours of driving, before we had entered the reservation. By this time, everyone was asleep, with it being about 2 o'clock in the morning. When we had crossed the reservation's border, I noticed the bus driver had sped up and was now going about 85 miles per hour, which is quite a few kilometers an hour. It's like,
yeah, it's like 150 or something.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I thought this was a little bit weird because he never exceeded the speed limit. At least not in my high school career. for some reason, don't touch my toes. Freaks me right out. I can only touch my toes. I'm the only one. For some reason, I couldn't fall asleep. Don't even look at them. Stop.
I was looking at the phone.
Okay. For some reason,
Someone's got issues.
I couldn't fall asleep like the rest of my teammates. I just sat at the back of the bus staring across the desolate desert landscape that was all lit up by the full moon. As I looked out, I could see a figure running towards the bus at an angle of pursuit and keeping up with the bus at 85 miles an hour. As the figure got closer, I saw that it was a humanoid form. As a matter of fact, it looked exactly like a human, only that it had a face that was painted half black and half white with glowing eyes. Glowing eyes like a rabbit's eyes reflecting in the night from the spotlight. I immediately thought, holy crap, it's a skinwalker. Who thinks that? Who knows about these things except me?
Why would that be your first thought?
The skinwalker ran up to the edge of the road and just kept pace with the bus, hurdling sagebush and rocks while it was staring at me. After I made eye contact with the thing, I could not look away. Absolute capital letters. It was as if someone was holding my head in that place. The skinwalker just smiled at me with its inhumane smile that went ear to ear, showing crooked yellow pointed teeth. I felt like I was going to throw up, and I was panicking through the whole ordeal. The skinwalker started to crumple down on all fours, still keeping up with the bus. I could see its bones crack and reform. Hair started appearing all over the skinwalker's body, and in about 3 seconds, it was now a coyote and ran off back into the desert out of view. As soon as it was gone, I ran to the onboard bathroom and puked a mixture of food and blood. I didn't want to tell anyone for fear that they would think I was crazy. I confided in my Navajo friend. She told me that I needed to see the chief, who also happened to be a friend of mine, and get a blessing. I saw him the next school day in the parking lot. He just came up to me and mumbled something in Navajo while waving a feathered scepter-like thing, turned around and got in his truck and drove away. To this day, I haven't seen another skinwalker. It might be due to the fact that I moved away from the town and the reservation, and if I do have to go south, I go way around.
So, what is a skinwalker's prerogative?
They're like bad witches.
So they want to go after a particular thing, or do they have a reason, or they just want to like possess you for a short time? Like, what is do they want to kill you?
I think they're just people like any other people, except they are witches, and so their prerogative is their own prerogative.
But they're evil. So
yeah, well, they're
just
like dark
like
magic.
For fun, chase after buses, and his prerogative with her would be what?
No, it was a dude. That story was in the.
Oh, sorry,
It was a
with
man.
him,
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not sure what their main thing is. Like, it's obviously not to like kill people as such. Is it?
I don't think so. I think they just like, as shapeshifters, like, what do you want out of life?
Like, did he do that for like shits and giggles? Because it said like he smiled.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. When things like are terrifying, I don't really question why they happen. It's like a serial killer. Why did you choose black magic? Why? Why did you choose to be a shapeshifter? Why do you choose
Did they choose it? So it's not like
Yeah.
they're possessed. Okay.
Yeah, they choose it.
Okay.
And in Navajo culture, I believe, as soon as you choose something like that course of life, you are no longer like viewed as a human being, and you're allowed to be killed by anyone.
Really?
Yeah, like if you decide to go down that path, you're not allowed. Like, you're just really not allowed. So like Salem witch trials style. Like, you're a witch? Alright, now we kill you.
And that's fine.
Well, I'm
By the law.
thinking, yeah, by the culture that's the case. But I don't think very many people would choose, like, to be a skinwalker. Why would you choose that? Because you're a psychopath.
I guess, like, cannibalism, like, why would you choose that?
Why would you choose that? Yeah.
But people are into that.
Yeah. And like, it's not, like, it's a black magic thing. Like, it's not, like, a good...
Is it Satanism?
Sadism?
Yeah.
Like, why would you choose that?
Yeah, I guess it's
Yeah.
more people choose to do things because they think it's different, maybe. So they're like, oh, I want to go the opposite.
Yeah.
They're looking for that.
Hi guys, so we had some technical difficulties after this section of the podcast, but it didn't get any more interesting, so it's not that exciting.
We actually sat there for another half hour having a discussion about
Skinwalkers. But I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!